Well, one of the things I think that college students are always experiencing is how do you actually create that balance between remaining connected to your family and at the same time becoming the independent adult that we all expect college students to be able to be.
I was so sure I knew what to do. Up until the day I arrived at college, I remember brimming with confidence, the confidence that came from a great high school career, good coaching, great support, and great memories through that period. I remember brimming with that confidence that, oh, this transition is going to be something that it shouldn't be too bad.
One of the questions that you have to ask yourself is, does your definition of being a successful college student match what your parents believe their definition is of being a successful college student? And so oftentimes, rather than assuming that that is or isn't the case, we ask college students and their parents to engage in actual conversations about that. What is the parent's expectation or definition of what it means to be a successful college student? And asking the students to share with their parents what that means as well. And oftentimes what we've found is that it's the very dialogue that's created when you bring that to the surface that creates all of the really great conversations then that occur between college-bound students and their parents. They find that they have a different way of talking to one another.
I haven't been to college myself and been in the workplace. We emphasize the importance of getting a good education, but even though I'd been to college, I hadn't been a parent of a college student before, so that was a new adventure.
Well, I remember pulling up to the door of Riedel Hall, and I remember getting out and heading into college for the first time. And as I entered, I kind of got a sense of, ooh, I'm not totally sure I'm ready for this.
The role that we've oftentimes seen for parents that becomes very effective when they are dealing with their college-age sons and daughters is one of what we like to call a coach. In essence, not unlike a sports coach, you are there when you're needed, you're offering advice and feedback along the way, but you're no longer involved in the direct supervision of your son or daughter. And that's a big, very important, and oftentimes very difficult transition to make.
I felt it was very important for David to go on to further his education beyond high school, not only for a better income for his job, but for his own self-worth.
We let David know this was something he needed to do on his own. Now, we were pushing and encouraging, but it was something he needed to do, something he needed to explore on his own terms.
My parents gave me a lot of trust during that time and a lot of latitude, and I found out the difficulty of that was simply not knowing.
A student support network oftentimes extends well beyond his immediate family. For example, when a student encounters situations and/or decides to engage in new challenges, a lot of times his circle of support becomes larger. He might draw upon the wisdom of an aunt, an uncle, campus colleagues, professors, and even people out in the community.
Over the course of my college career, I was able to enjoy a lot of things. I was able to enjoy being a part of 8 different clubs and organizations. I enjoyed giving tours to people. I enjoyed tutoring people. I was able to enjoy working in a variety of roles across campus, both as a volunteer and as a student employee. So that made this a home away from home, and it allowed some space to both be myself and to grow up a little bit and enjoy that process.
You know, the thing of it is that's kind of neat is that when he goes through these experiences, when he goes through these challenges, what he ends up finding out is, first of all, he finds out that he's stronger than what he thought he was. So he finds out he's a lot more tenacious than he thought. And secondly, during that process, his confidence builds because he starts to realize he really does have the coping mechanisms in place that have been kind of placed there growing up through his parents that will enable him to succeed.
But I think one of the more valuable things was he learned his own strengths and weaknesses and grew as a person and learned how those strengths and weaknesses complemented and helped him in making life's decisions.
When students arrive in college, I think part of the excitement is to engage not only academically but socially. So the first year experience program really helps our students to connect in that way. So we've designed programs to help students not only connect to the campus but also to each other, but then in addition to that to be able to explore and find out really who they are. College is kind of a time where students are trying to explore themselves, what direction they want to go, and having the proper support is really important.
I felt David really enjoyed the leadership qualities and skills he learned in college, so much so that I encouraged his siblings to go and to be a part, to be involved, to further their education and their interests, their leadership skills as a whole.
I think one of the biggest advantages of the local campus here is accessibility. As a parent, you have lots of questions, a lot of new ground to be explored. I find it very beneficial that you can talk to the administration, talk to the dean, help with financial aid questions, help navigating through the different questions, that they're available, you can talk to them and get the responses that you need. And it gives you quite a comfort knowing your student has the same access. But as a parent, it's quite comforting to have your questions answered and be able to feel like you're really talking to the people who are impacting and making those decisions.
The family is critical, not only for the student's personal development, but also for his ultimate future success.